It's not that I don't have to tell I brought Santa Solis to our car. So I guess but
What's up, y'all?
it's like absolutely. I don't want to get
You're here at the pop-up series, Chicago Fish Red pop-up series.
so
Shout out to everyone who came to network.
back when I said, hey, do you want any of the questions?
Some good people in here.
No, can you spell it? My first question. How was it? You say that? I know the answer because she very well. But I was educated 600 white guys in a crowd that would never ask that question. Candace looks at me and said, I'm bringing a white guy, so half of so she says the whole cost. See, I'm no longer black. And then I went into that's the actual thing too. But here's where it becomes tough. See, let's say
It's going down. Go ahead.
I know that's
Please. Do you want this to go front on
Thank y'all. That's how we do it.
They got me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We just got him. Just 22.
Hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, guys, the right drinks. We have some cocktails and mocktails. Networking time. You know, some healing situations. Okay. Thank y'all for coming out. My name is Zoe.
I think it's because you're in front of
Shout out to just she had
Her name is just me.
But yes, please hope to meet all of you, and hope you guys enjoy. This is actually our first networking event outside of serving the cocktail.
Yeah, you're right in front of this.
Yeah, I'm everything, the AV, content creator, streamer. But yeah, so please, shout out to Will County GOP for coming. Appreciate you so much. All hands on deck. So thank you, Ms. Christine, right? Yes. As you guys know, this is a very, very, very important time. It's midterm season, so we need to start strategizing and making sure that we put the right governor in, but as long as it's not JB Pritzker. So, And we have, two wonderful candidates that are here today that Chicago Flips Red are supporting and endorsing. And we need all your support. Um, these are two candidates that are not part of the machine. Are business entrepreneurs, owners, parents, mothers, Christians, understanding the homeschooling network and how terrible the public school system is. And I just hope that we get, well, no, these ain't no hope. Ain't no hope. We're going to do it. And that's it. Last time we did hope. That's what happened. So we're gonna network for a minute, and then 7 o'clock, around 6:50, we're gonna slow down for a minute because Miss Valencia is here. She's a poll watcher, so she has some things she wants to discuss that she's seen so far with this early voting because they cheating.
Yeah.
You know they cheating. All right, love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Y'all wanna hear that? Oh, y'all was
Oh, so you walked in. I think the door was open.
It's like really.
I think I'll just say talking to you. Oh, my God. Vote red, baby.
Number really being.
Yeah. Not too long ago, I saw it.
Just gave. Gotta keep your good fear.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, very nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Next to me,
My kids are all CPD. Yeah. 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 They're. Oh, yeah. I'm just updating.
So, yes, thank you for your service. Yes.
I'm gonna send it to them.
Well, we took a little.
Yeah, this is. Originally from.
So you streaming in live streaming and we I don't know.
I think the last person who said
Well, a lot of champagne, family, just this was what we
from the bathroom floor.
they know.
Used to be afraid.
Oh, really?
Here's the little thing to pretty much.
Yeah.
But, it's outside. They were free.
Oh, you put that.
So, Mike's plays in the back game. Also going to playing a bird surf.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. The 14th. This thing don't come on. Like, so you gotta be better. Here is going to be daily.
She said they made it. You got
Man plays with two gymnastics. Maybe we got all hurting.
Irish. Oh, go. We can stay.
Yeah, in a week. Except.
It's gonna be all.
Hours of pain.
Yeah, that's so. Okay, that's not what we got. Everybody should be able to. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
It's true. Now, having the big kids. I just did this. That's right. He whispered, you're out like she probably thinks like, yeah, guess what I said? I said, I've never said that. Yeah. Then he's trying to say, oh, I that's what I said. What's happening? I've been with you guys. You guys took over. I've been there since 2020. Yeah, and I do. So, what else? 17 W. Central yeah, I've been with you. Oh, yeah. I didn't know. I saw.
Saying, don't think we shall lie.
Justin, just
Just in case, I guess Danny like give no shit. Right, right. Yeah. Shower has probably definitely angle. Tedora.
So remember when the fans came after me, right? They said my company's not real. They said they came to one of my sponsors. That is the owner of what I never met her. I've never met her, and I've been with them since 2015. So they had reached out to them and was like, yeah, she owned, she rented this place out or whatever. The place was empty. They came out like it's people in the hallway right now. Oh, trying to get in? Yeah, and there wasn't. So let's do this. Let's
Picture right now. Well, for 3.
good enough for me. I just see people like, I don't know.
15. Full name.
Should we
Oh God.
get somebody here?
That's
I'll tell you. You're in your immune side.
I'm Senator.
Yeah, you think he is showing up.
So you guys know, y'all know,
Yeah, sure. I always show up.
like this father is funny. He got phone, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say, any other candidates have any?
Yeah, so I'm saying you can't do that for all of
Okay, can you do it real quick?
Well, then maybe we should.
Somebody else probably gonna do it.
No, yeah, at 6:50,
Here's change.
should start our routine.
Okay,
Then we'll go into,
the panel.
yeah, what you guys.
Very sure to see that. And just get out of it. Mike, so you're.
I'm taking
That's in here. That's what I want.
No, I know.
This guy's got a little rock. So,
Yeah,
check.
Christian.
We said our loans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get a text here.
Oh, yeah.
So.
The thing is here,
Yeah, so we have.
South side. I went to Japan. So sounds.
one of you on Facebook. I had Lawrence Jones talking to me, boxing friends, and I had him in Champagne, but I didn't even know I was talking with.
And I work for Radio. So that's what I'm retired. I was ahead of.
Yeah.
Last time.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Well, golly, I don't know what we're doing with that other part. Registration. That's what we do. I think. Seriously, we need to check with the other county. Right? Because I'm gonna try to reach out to you.
Bravo. Yeah, thanks. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You don't want to say any words.
Just outside of that. That little car. Hey, that's why I grew up out there right there. You wouldn't know? Really 3 blocks away. Why drive? I tried to drive. When I just did her that sucks, Champagne, you know, it's voting in because they think the social right? Some people don't like something. I'm like, why? But I don't know what the date is, but the voting voting.
Oh, wow.
So like you think it's like a million, and we just switch your lead in a way.
Now you work for me.
Oh, wow.
I see you outside in 10 minutes.
Go back.
Yeah, for him. Right. Yes, and
Yeah, there was.
Get some fingers.
Okay.
So I'm just using that.
Hey, I'm not sure. Just everything all sex.
Yeah, so good.
Years ago, I had raised 90 calories.
2024 truck. It's the station. Here's what I'm working on. This is what I got the cook there. This is Champagne, the Orient Fluminense. If we don't get that split, 84, 2000. Just my was doing it. Super. I'm telling you, it's screwing it up.
And people are actually, you guys funny. Oh, wow.
Just fine. Right.
Yeah, we have like
Really infiltrating.
My kids are.
I Corey Brooks. Yeah. He's awesome. I'm doing this. You see the ground, baby.
Raising money from different parts of the teams. I raised money. I'm not trying to separate. Right? I don't want to do now.
Hey, Chef, I can share with us. Big brother versus Gala at the lowest. Oh, really? Just
That's the part. I'm not even trying to assimilate.
Shop again. And if you're a black cat, we can see. It's just so my first question again is what am I saying? Did I say or else? First of all, it's all what I say. It's much better. So they can help give them how to be lying. First question. So I just wanted him from the shop. I was like, it's confusing, you know. First question, so raising. I'm looking at you like you must have why is there raising some kind of a big button? She says, here's one thing. Will say, I say, I can buy one of us. And so she says that if I say there's no longer black race. But that's not all culture, but that's the culture says, your students are but then the other side.
I'm not trying to deflect.
There's a theory. It's one by.
Case full of money. 30,000 in cash. BMW. I know. It's not. It's like bureaucracy. They got the trades. There's 69,000 students now. That's like Eastern though. Oh yeah. Eastern when I hear
Okay, so your views ain't much. You're saying these can't someone that's a lot of shit. So how do you like It's a living law.
No, my daughter. Yeah.
So they I took a camera, I don't know, that's a blue. It's guys are doing more systems, so I think we need to experience.
Well, and that is an issue.
I should be staring. Hey, they did.
Oh, I know that was awesome. That's right. Those are your losing guy. Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, I was on a losing team. We always lost a car. I'm six. It's my team. I'm down, but I choose to make the all the pitch. So he was so hard laughing. Yeah, I said hello. I came in. I was like, hey, how's it going? And I was good. Congratulations. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know it's bad. I ain't heard about it, but I didn't like that. You were like, house on that. What? I didn't know. How did you do it? Oh, yeah. And I think. But that's okay. Yes, there's that. Yeah, so that. I've been traveling. Yeah. Oh, yes. Wants to see now. Thanks for yeah, I actually have a whole neighbors on their side. Yeah, I remember yeah. So they get impressions. Very so. That movie really go away.
Oh, yeah, especially here. It's so open. I sit right up my day. This was like, but I feel like they're trying. And you're supposed to have
Maybe the box is actually.
Oh, yeah.
I like this. I was there for now.
Y'all were there. Yeah. I was worried you.
I was ever share plan.
Yeah, it seems nice.
No, share plan.
Nobody knows this.
Yeah, I don't know his face.
Mary, our president loves Mary.
I just texted Mary, I sent her a picture of us. Your plan will come up. So this is just a champ, you know, trying to get a hold of these guys, look like, with, Lawrence in the town. Your mom and who's going to
Oh, okay.
Lawrence going to
So we don't see like the one. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, no, Dale just roll us quick. I was just, I was speaking on it to say this, but I'm stabbing up. They just say,
So I just think.
yeah.
You say this. Yeah, I got a couple of friends that are just like, they're so far off, it's just like. So he used to be it's like stuff on his book, it's like here unfriend him. And then he's like calling me. Then he's calling me. Because I do real estate, so we don't call her. I was like, I gotta go look at this restaurant. Look at this stuff. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that. Like, oh, I grew up in. Oh, you know? Yeah. Grew up 49 to Blackstone. I was born in Pioneer.
That's tries to show that he's very different.
First take, it's Kicking all the golf. First night, like golf. I know what it's so.
Oh, damn.
Oh, you're gonna come to the south
Love
side?
that y'all got mints out here, like church. Y'all got mints out here like church. I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I have this on my table?
Yeah.
The parade? That's awesome.
Yeah, you gotta get this.
Yeah.
So I can show the microphone.
No, I didn't get this.
I'm needing Danielle. Who's Danielle got?
Oh.
Yes.
Huh? Let me see someone I turn it.
You want to start right at 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got
Well, we probably will start a little bit before, but not the panel. Because I guess there's like some people here.
Gary Miller told him with you guys, I just texted you after. Yeah, Christian, he's like, she's awesome. But
Good, good. And I haven't seen him voice for a while yet.
No,
That's good.
I gotta make the graphic you did. We the big push to get free. This to me.
Okay, Miss Williams.
I haven't had that word in a long time. He called me.
I mean, what's her name? What was school?
I like her. You got a hint today off?
School, the like girl who,
Christian McCoy.
that's
Yes.
Christian McCoy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Danny, you didn't even put that right there?
Put this.
Okay, so he can get.
My parents got 13.
Right. Where you want to put it at? Right where? Here?
Yeah.
You want to put it right here? So you think we should?
Yeah, she said parents and stuff.
Okay, so what you want to turn her? So you want to?
Make sure it sees her.
Okay, so you want to?
You know, anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Chair, so I can put the just in case it starts to die.
It look like it's. I'm doing something council. Do that.
It's
Oh,
so
wait a minute.
I own furniture stores, but that's still my number. That's the furniture card.
Yeah, I think it got to go to the. Are they gonna be able to hear?
So
Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see something.
Christine. Right now. We're also going to the White Paper UFC.
Oh,
We didn't dial into that.
Really?
Are you going for the readout? Are you gonna get that? Oh, okay, so we do gotta do that. I thought we were gonna be able to do it.
Mary, you know, so
Oh, no, sir, that's what it is. Yeah. Okay, that's what it is. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of like, you know. She got to make sure she put everybody. So they will get back there a little bit. When you see it, thank you. Okay.
What's the things that happen to your kids and your grandkids, and you forgot about
But you try to get the whole. I know, but that's what you have to live. Yeah, I know. So, yeah. You can always take this down.
I don't know who I was following on Facebook, but it probably wasn't you all, was someone answering for you maybe?
Yeah, I think it was for long. Yeah, but you got out information.
Yeah, I wish I would buy it. So John, go in because I do.
I might set this right in between you.
I'm like, I know.
You know that. You would like it for Jones.
See them, everybody else.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, I would do things. See that. Yeah.
They good.
Yes. That means somebody. Yeah. Coffee cup, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can leave some. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I just don't. So I don't have this. You know.
How are you? Good, yes.
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
You really, you just do things. Good to see you.
Oh, there you go. More stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. If you don't have a seat, can we get some ice? Well, what I do see and I love is that the males are standing. So thank you guys for that. We have some strong males in the building. Thank you guys for that. We do have some candidates that showed up. So before we get to the panel, we're going to give them 2 minutes to speak. Just 2 minutes. But prior to doing that, we do want to let you guys know that if you're not registered to vote or you need some voter registration information, we have Christina Clausen from the Will County Republican Committee, Central Committee, Central, that's bigger, okay? And again, thank you guys for showing up out of your day. We do want to say thank you because you guys didn't have to show up, but we're gonna start. There is drinks to my left. If you want to drink, we not just alcohol, we have regular drinks too, guys. If you need water, the water is to my right. So we'll start with the prayer. We're gonna be really quick. We're gonna start with the prayer. After the prayer, Dr. Sandy Norman is going to lead us in prayer. Then after that, we're going to look towards this flag here, and we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance with no one leading. We're going to do it in unison.
All right, praise the Lord. For this is the day that the Lord have made, and we rejoice and we are glad in it. Amen. All right, we're going to just bow our heads quickly for a moment of prayer. Father, we just thank you for what you are doing, even on tonight. For your word declares that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And so, Father, we pray even now that even in the city of Chicago and in the state of Illinois, that you would do a new thing. And we're declaring new leadership. We're declaring, Father, that thy kingdom come and that thy will be done. We pray over the candidates that are here. We ask you, Lord, to touch them, give them wisdom, knowledge, revelation, and understanding, and all of those that are representing the kingdom of God. Father, we pray for increase, even as you're raising up an army of righteousness that will rule. We declare the word of the Lord even on tonight, that Father, in the city of Chicago and even over our government, Father, that things are changing, that things are shifting, that God is doing something brand new. And so, Father, I just pray that even as we unite in this place, Father, that the spirit of unity, the spirit of oneness, the spirit of one accord, that it would rest upon all that are here. And I pray, Father, that your kingdom would come, that your will be done. Strengthen every person that you have caused to come into this room. Father, we cancel every assignment of the enemy, even on tonight. And we pray even now, Father, that you would continue to move upon families, move upon those that you have sent in this place. And Father, we say even now, God, arise and let every enemy be scattered. And Father, we pray even for Zoe and Danny and Miss Jackie, those, God, that have even come, and we say, let there be more grace. I decree and declare that the voice of the righteous will not be silent, but that even the voices that you're raising up in this season, that the voices will be propelled and amplified. And so we give God praise tonight. We give God glory tonight. And we even release a shout of victory in this place. Glory to God. We say victory on tonight. That it is so. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. And we all say amen and amen and amen.
Yes, amen.
Good.
Good.
That was the first time.
Mother Diva.
No, she gonna.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mother Diva is a poll watcher, and she just wants to say a few things that's going on, just to give some warnings. And it's so good.
This is the Illinois Secretary of State.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm Mother Diva. I am Chicago's Empress of House and Electronic Dance Music, which is why I'm wearing my house necklace. I am not red or blue. I am green, so I am a neutral party here. I'm a member of the Green Party, but I support the person and not the party. And I talked to Zoe last week and explained some things to her because of what's happening with these non-citizens that are trying to illegally vote. So I just want to give you guys some information. These are the items that you would need to register to vote. If you're going to register online, they are requesting a state ID, picture ID, or driver's license, a picture ID, and a social security card. But if you're mailing it in and if you're going in person, let's say, for example, if you don't have a picture ID or a social security card, you can register to vote with a lease and a utility bill. Well, non-citizens can have a lease and a utility bill. I talked to the State Board of Elections and I said, how can you tell the difference? And she said, you really can't. And see, that's the problem. How many people in here know what a provisional ballot is? All right. A few of you all know what a provisional ballot. I'm going to explain that. What I'm doing, I am going around to the polls and I'm letting the election workers know because they're going to be a vast number of people coming into the polls to register to vote and vote the same day. So they can do that. And this is where the provisional ballots come in. As an election judge, because I've been an election judge for 7 years, but I decided this year not to work the polls, but to be going to the polls, screaming, shouting, and letting them know voter fraud is very serious. The Department of Justice will come and arrest you for voter fraud. I don't know if you guys heard about what happened in Minnesota. They have found 3,000 registered voters with irregularities. And then there was an organization that hired people to register people to vote, and they found 500 false applications. And come to find out, that organization was paid by the state of Minnesota. So we have a lot of fraud going on, but not on my watch. I am not playing with this because I'm tired of all this fraud that's going on in the state of Illinois. So if you know any poll workers, if people are out there working the polls, if a person comes in and you question their registration or if they're registering for the first day, this is a provisional ballot. Provisional ballot, this is an affidavit. They can only vote touch screen. They cannot have a paper ballot. And they have to fill this out and sign it, and we have to sign it. And they have 7 days to take this provisional ballot down to the election board to prove who they are in order for that vote to count. Here's the problem with the ID. The non-citizens have identifications that say federal limits apply. If you see someone with a driver's license or an ID that says federal limits apply, most likely they're a non-citizen. However, they can still register to vote with that ID. That's the problem. So we have to educate ourselves and learn all the facets that's going on because there's all these innuendos. Christine was just telling me what she found. Just all kind of little fraud. And then when you reporting it to the people who are fraudulent. The people in charge to correct this stuff, they're fraud too. And see, this is why President Trump, he wanted to do the whole birth certificate and marriage license thing because it's kind of hard to get a fake birth certificate. You got to go through a lot of trouble to get that. And look at what just happened with the Secretary of State office. Okay, I'm 160 seconds. With the Secretary of State's office giving driver's licenses to truck drivers who are non-citizens. Okay, what the most important thing we can do is start flooding the election board's committee. They have hearings, they have meetings every month like the city council. The next one is March 16th in Springfield and Chicago. Your voices need to be heard so this fraud can stop. I am going around to all of the polls that I can find that are concentrated with migrants, and I'm going to be letting them know to give all of them a provisional ballot because we have to stop this fraud. This needs to be a fair election. Amen. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Oh, Casey, go first. 2 minutes. Casey is running for United States Senator.
Thank you kindly for your introduction, and I'm so happy to be with you tonight. Yes, my name is Casey Levick, and I'm running for United States Senate. Quick bio. I was born in a communist Poland, 1997. I am an immigrant. I graduated from high school, and within a week, I was United States. I graduated from UICC as an engineer, but I worked as a IT professional all my life. I am a sailing enthusiast. I was even a Commodore Chicago Association. I also established a business with my brother, and we were successful real estate business. Now, let me tell you what I want to do for you, because that's what it's about you, the people. The most important thing that you can do in your life is save the money that is being taken away for you by taxation. So my Magna Mula agenda, Magna domestic policy, Mula foreign policy. Magna is about 7 pillars. They are all about taxations, well, except for the prescription drugs and the fact that I want to work for free. But let me run to these. Abolish property taxes on real estate properties. Abolish taxes on all social security income. Abolish IRS taxes on the retirement income. No federal taxes for individuals up to age 23 and 26 if they are married or they are students. 5-year tax holiday for all new small businesses. Free prescription drugs for seniors, disabled citizens, and veterans. And lastly, I want to work for you for free. Just as President Trump. So I'm not a career politician. I want to do it for a cause. And lastly, this job should be not about policies, politics, or power. It should be about the people, because with the people, for the people, with the people, we can overcome, and we will prevail. Please vote for me March 17th. I'm Casey Levick. Thank you.
Next candidate is Nona Parker.
District 98, I'm out in Will County. First of all, let me say thank you to Chicago Flips Red. We need a Joliet Flips Red.
Yes.
We need a Joliet Flips Red. I'm Dr. Nona Parker. I'm running for District 98 State Rep. I'm running against Manley, the Wicked Witch of the West. We're gonna burn her broom. Burn that broom. I can't stand it any longer. That's why I'm running. You know, we can sit around, have table talk all day long. We can talk about what the issues are. We can talk about the taxes. We can talk about the fact that our children are failing in education. We can talk about a lot of things, but until we have people that's willing to get up and make the difference, educate themselves and figure out what the problems are and be willing to get in there and fix them, that's why I'm running, because I want to fix the problems. So yes, I'm going after taxes. I can't stand it any longer. People are suffering. People are losing their homes. One of my hot buttons is education. I was so frustrated with what Barack Obama did with our education system. I started my own school. I started a homeschool academy. And so I homeschool people's children for them because they have to go to work. And it works. One of my other hot buttons is dealing with something I don't hear a lot about, but this foster care system. These children are being marked for sex trafficking. They're disappearing and falling through the cracks. I'm going to find them. I work with a lot of foster children. I have a lot of foster parents in my church. I'm also a pastor. And we work with these children and we are turning their lives around. They don't have to be system children for the rest of their lives. All they need is good education, a lot of love, and some discipline. Amen. And so the state will not allow that to happen. So I'm going after that. And then the final thing that I'm going to say is I'm tired of watching our seniors suffer. They pay for a house and then they lose it because of taxes. That is unfair. That is not wrong. And so I want to go after that. And I want to legislate and work with many of you all to make sure that we create laws that's going to be good for the people and not good for the politicians.
Nice. We have Diane Harris, Secretary of State.
Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is a great turnout. It's always good to see more voters than candidates. It really is. And so thank you for all of you guys. But anyway, I'm Diane Harris, candidate for Secretary of State, and I'm running to give the DMV back to you. Appointment not working. Drivers, voters, illegal immigrants, not working. None of the service that the DMV is designed to do is working for the people. So I am going to give it back to you. We're gonna focus on transparency. We're gonna focus on accountability and ethical standards. I think we have something going on in that office currently that is not good for the people. We've already had one governor, not governor, but Secretary of State to go to prison. We have an incumbent right now. So, just a little bit about me. I'm, live out in Will County. I'm the chairman, vice chairman of Joliet, Township Republicans. And I'm also a precinct committeeman, which I have been for probably the last 14 years. And I enjoy it. I love it. I enjoy recruiting Republican candidates. Not that I get to do many recruits because they were listed being in a blue area, but it's always good to put the message out there. Also, I'm the Joliet Junior College Board trustee, and I'm also the Joliet Public Library trustee, and I've been their treasurer. And I've been on that board since 2016. And as you know, that the Secretary of State's office is the chief librarian for all of the public libraries throughout the state of Illinois. So we want to focus on making sure that all the libraries in all areas, whether wealthy areas, poor areas, get what they deserve. So that's, you can take a look at my webpage. There's a little bit more information out there. But I'm so glad to be here and I appreciate everything that these states are doing. And thank you again for coming out. You just don't know how important that is. When candidates are giving something that is just not candidates to show up. So again, thank you.
So is there? What's the movie though, Will County? You have so many towns.
Yeah, I didn't get into all of them. But you can find it on the website. But thank you, everybody.
Do we have any more candidates? Perfect. Let's go to work.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
And welcome to the Chicago Flips Red pop-up series, Tinley Park. My name is Zoe Leigh, and I'm the founder of Chicago Flips Red. A grassroots platform focused on transparency, civic engagement, and holding leadership accountable across Chicago, Cook County, and the state of Illinois. For those who may not know, Chicago Flips Red has been on the ground covering city council meetings, board hearings, committee sessions, and community events, making sure voters have direct access to information without filters and without media spin. Tonight is about real conversation. We're here to discuss public safety, education, the economy, accountability, and what leadership should look like in 2026. Joining us tonight, Christian Maxwell, candidate for the 1st U.S. Congressional District. Tedora Brown, candidate for the 11th U.S. Congressional District. Danielle Carter-Walters, representing Chicago Fifth Ward. My role tonight is simple: to ask direct questions, keep us focused, and make sure you leave here informed. Okay, I did good. Shout out to, we have our other member in here, Jessica Jackson.
Yes, all right.
While Why they're running? Public safety, education, and families, the economy, and accountability. For Christian and Tedora, why are you running for Congress right now? If I would like to start.
Can you guys hear? One of the reasons why I'm running is because I was just fed up. Something just like Ms. Parker said. I was gonna run for state rep back in 2023, and I was attacked under the Biden administration. And I fought the Department of Justice, just like Ms. Parker. It's funny, but I've had daycare centers since I was 23 years old. I'm a school teacher by trade. And they tried to say that my companies were not real, only because I'm a Black Republican and because I am, because I am who I am. I'm successful. I've been on TV shows, I've been out there on bail collectives. I've been a radio host. I have been out here. I built myself from the age of 14 years of age all the way to who I am today. And I did that boots on the ground. And as I fought the Department of Justice, and still fight. When you know that you have not done anything wrong, you can continue and you can fight all the way to the finish line, especially when you have God on your side. So 2 things my father taught me and my brother. If you're not going to do anything, shut up or step up, right? So I stepped up. And no, I'm not a part of a political PAC. People were saying, oh, you haven't raised enough money. I didn't ask for money because I wanted to do this the right way. What our founding fathers wanted us to do. Citizens like you, citizens like me. They wanted us to be able to go to Congress and push for, a legislation. I think sometimes, even I have opponents, right? I think sometimes people forget exactly what the job is. When someone asks you to do the job, it's different from you volunteering to do the job. It's so crazy. I didn't even know that Congress even got checks. That's how crazy it was. I did not find out that Congress actually got checks, right? But when I did, I'm like, well, hell, okay. I'm not going to, if I'm out here working and fighting for something, I expect to get paid. We're not gonna sit back and sugarcoat. I'm the rawest, realest person that you're probably ever gonna meet, right? You ask me a question, I'm gonna be transparent about it. But to fast forward, we all was boots on the ground. We had to fill out petitions, so you have to get signatures. There was 3 other opponents, they're older guys. We all got together and we said we wasn't gonna challenge these other petitions. And we were good with that. Unfortunately, the last hour, last day, last 15 minutes of that day, one of my fellow opponents actually went and filed the petition on it and spent thousands and thousands of dollars on it. So I guess they thought I was just going to give up. But see, when you're fighting for parental rights, when you're fighting for school choice, when you're fighting to, counsel abortion, when you're fighting for things because you believe in what you believe in, you know that you can go. So I had to go. Is going back to what what's your name? Mother Diva just said. The Illinois State Board of Election is all Democrat, except for a few. But what I'm going here because I went before the Illinois State Board of Elections, stood in front of them. If you guys have time, you can go to YouTube, January 8th, January 7th and 8th, Illinois State Board of Elections. You'll see how we stood there and fought against people knowing that it was wrong for what they did. Just because you have the power to do something doesn't mean you're supposed to do that. Okay, there is election law. You have election law. You have the Illinois State Board of Election built the law. We didn't build it. So when we following the instructions that you guys are giving us, and you still say no because you want to build an opinion, oh no, we're gonna go head on. That's what we're gonna do. So guess what I did? I went all the way to the Illinois Appellate Court, and 2 weeks ago I won. Okay, I won. Because I'm not going to sit down when I'm talking, but I want to be respectful. But anyway, this is the reason why I'm here, is to create and change legislation. Yeah. Okay. If you go and just look at our legislation, like really from the federal level all the way down to the state level, it's horrible. Okay. As she stated, but I was a former Democrat. I don't want nobody to think I'm running away from that. Okay. So anybody want to ask a question? Yes, I was. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I didn't know why. I just did we was just tradition. I'm a Black lady. I follow what we follow. You know, it's like I don't want to say it, but it is what it is. Monkey see, monkey do. Vote blue, no matter who. That's what we did. Until our president asked one thing. What do you have to lose to vote for me? And you know what? We already solved that. If you're a Christian, you know same-sex marriage is not right.
Right.
Okay, you already know that boys don't go in girls' bathroom. I graduated from public school, Chicago public school. If a boy was caught at the door by us, we went and told our teacher, they get suspended.
Yes.
Not even in school suspension. So, and they're just standing by the door because that is a perverted spirit. So they're coming after our children. I'm a homeschool mom.
Right.
Okay, my son now, he's a sophomore. He's been homeschooled since first grade. And now my other son is in first grade. He's been homeschooled. This is something I chose to do. Did I want to do that? No, but how in the hell would I allow my children to go into these school systems? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Then I have grandchildren. If we don't fight for them, what the heck? Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? See, people think about this politics, oh, this and that. I'm not going to be anyone's puppet. That's what's not going to happen. So guess what? I'll run this race without asking anybody for $1 because I know that I will win this race because I'm being obedient to God. That's number one. Number two is because I know that I have the power and the principles to get the voters that need to vote for us. That's the thing. It's not about changing who you are. You want to be a Democrat? Be a Democrat. Who cares? That's on you. But what I'm going to do is make you aware of what's going on in your party because a lot of Black people do not know what is going on in the party. They don't know. So for me to see a lot of Black faces here, I want you guys to know I am running in the 11th district, right? I got off course, but I just want to say one thing. Because of me not stopping, I received a phone call yesterday and an email that I have changed Illinois state law, Brown versus the Illinois State Board of Elections, because I did not give up. Okay, publication with my name on it. So when the people say no, who cares? Because God said yes. Right. If I decided to let that alone, I got people in here that was helping me. We were boots on the ground, and because I circulated over 85% of my petition sheets myself, I knew for a fact, oh, that person is a lie. That person is a lie. As soon as they gave me the okay, let me tell you, God is so good with my name. The DuPage County stopped early voting for me. Okay, and another guy too. We ain't gonna mention his name, but they had removed my name from the ballot, which is not state law. But let me tell you what's crazy. Every county is different. Goes back to this fraud, election interference, election integrity. It goes back to the point, every county in the state of Illinois should have the same exact rules. How is it that this county got one rule and this county got another rule, but we all under one government? Illinois goes back, everything goes back to one person, J.B. Pritzker. Yeah. Okay. I just had to explain to a lady yesterday when I knocked on her door. She said, what about Trump? I said, why are you worried about Trump? You should be worried about your governor. He's the one who's governing your state. So y'all chose him to be the shepherd over you guys, and your guys are they're letting illegal aliens actually come over here and take over. You guys are being replaced. Right. What's going to happen? Right. You guys are being replaced, and you don't even know it. Stop being manipulated by these people. And this is what I'm explaining. So when I got my challenge, I had over 151 Democrats, independent voters, green voters. Long as you're a registered voter, you can stop my petition. That's right. They got upset because they seen that I was able to cross people over. Listen, this is what I do. I'm not a salesman, but I'm walking in obedience. And when you're walking with the Spirit on you, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just sit back and allow God to do what He's supposed to do. Get it back. Everybody's something in here, but no. I get it because we have been suppressed. Yeah. That's a you want to get there, somebody. It's all the time. So much. It's so much to say with so little time to actually say it, guys. You can go to my website, TedoraBrown.com. I have some information in the back. I know some people are in my district, some people are not in my district, but I'm always asking for support. We need volunteers. I got two more. How many more days we got to go? What's today? 14. 2 more weeks. We got 14 more days. I have now put my commercial out on Fox 32 News, on the radio. Listen, I've been booming. We've been doing a lot. So continue to keep me in your prayers. If you guys want to donate, you can, but that's not my big thing. I need some volunteers. That's what I need. So again, I'm Tedora Brown, and I run for Congress in the 11th district. 33.
That's the
Thanks. I know, right? Well, good evening, everybody. For me, when I think about why I decided to run, I'm a person who loves data and analytics. I like to look at the why of why things are happening and why something feels bad inside of the state. So when I was looking, we moved back. I'm a native born Illinoisan. So I was born in downstate Illinois, East St. Louis. And I came to Chicago for school to go attend UIC. Met my husband there, and then Chicago kept me. So I've been here since I went to college. My husband and I moved away for 4 years. So that's important because it really was like the epicenter of a lot of my mindset change. What's broken in Illinois? It's like for a woman, if you're dating a not so good guy, and then you date somebody who's better, and then all of a sudden you realize how bad the other guy was. So Texas was to get it. So in Texas, you can just go and enroll your child. We live in North Texas. You can go and enroll your child in school. You have to worry about, what the literacy rate was for the school. But here, I would look at the neighborhood school, and it was an 8% literacy rate. And then also that same school is saying that they're struggling to even get kids to come to school. Most of these schools have a 50-60% absentee rate in Chicago. So for families in Chicago, and a lot of times school, I'm a Republican. Being a Black Republican is not the most popular thing. But when I think about why I'm running now, I'm running for families in Chicago who can't even send their kids to public schools. Do you know how much money it saves you to send your kids to a public school? Sending your child to a private school is bare minimum $6,000 a year.
I made that. Yes.
Yes.
My kids in private school.
Thank you. It's like natural birth control for a lot of people. And it really is the thing when I think about school situation. This is why people say, like, how are you going to get through to Democrats? Well, let's talk about the wealth that you're losing from your household because you can't even send your kids to the local school. That is a bare minimum function, and the amount of money that Chicago public schools gets is insane. $30,000 bare minimum per student is what is being allocated to kids who aren't even in these schools. Right. Yeah. So when I thought about that, that was a beginning point of me starting to talk about that online. A lot of the reason why I'm sitting here today is because some people on TikTok started to believe in me a little bit more than I am believing in myself. Yeah. Oh, I personally believe that everybody who went to Congress was super duper smart. I thought that they were people who all were lawyers, who all had a heart for America. And then I realized I'm 36, so I've only been able to go to a couple of elections. When I realized that a lot of people don't have a heart for Americans, much less children in America, that was when I really started to, like I said, do more deep diving and just talking about what's really broken in Illinois. Because Illinois has this really good way of their state-ran media can spin a story so good that you forget what happened. So I started making videos and pulling receipts. Like, no, this is a lie. This is actually what happened during the pandemic. They didn't keep the state shut down because they were so scared of COVID. They kept it shut down because it was paying the bills for RTA, for the CPS, public schools, and for the entire city. It wasn't about people being sick. There was no pandemic in Texas. When I would come back from Texas, I came back here and people still walking in a line, 6 feet separated in the house parties in Texas. On birthday parties inside of houses, and nobody had on a mask, and we weren't dropping dead. But my relatives shunned us when we would come back. They would want us to go to Walgreens and get tested, because they were here inside of the state. And they didn't believe what we were telling them. So we live in Texas. So when I think about this journey, I arrived here because I got lied to long enough. And I saw family turn on me long enough because I saw and got exposed to the truth. And I wanted to expose more people to that truth. And like I said, people on TikTok started to believe in me enough and encouraged me to even look into the process of running. Because as Ms. Diane said, a lot of people don't know that we have a shortage of people who even want to run in the state. There's not enough people who are even recruiting candidates. But thankfully, TikTok recruited me. And that's the reason why I'm standing here or sitting here even right now. I didn't send me a group of people who were watching my videos and comment, they sent me, and I can't say how, I can't even put into words how grateful I am to them for believing in me when I didn't even think that this was an option. But like I said, I have 4 children. Well, I didn't say it, but I have 4 children. My husband's an officer. We are entrepreneurs. I have a background in business development. That's what I do. And right now I'm fighting for parents. If there's a group that I'm going to ever give special attention to, it's parents. I love parents. I love mothers. And when I look at Illinois, mothers and parents and children are hurting real bad. They're hurting real bad. So for a state like this, we have to have people who are willing to say the very uncomfortable, who are willing to tell the truth. Yeah. Like she said about foster care, my mother works for DCFS. Foster children there's not enough foster homes. There's not enough good placements. There's not even enough foster facilities like the big ones. Mm-hmm. So we have so many things that are broken at a state level and also at a national level. So I'm running to make sure that your vote is actually a vote that is represented in Congress. When you elect somebody to Congress, the thing that a lot of people forget is that you're electing a voter. The bulk of the work that I would do is vote on my district and Illinois' behalf. I want to actually vote to represent your beliefs and what's truly important to you. I want to make sure that when I'm there and I'm voting on things that will decrease federal taxes so that it can offset things like the tyranny that Illinois it literally puts on us, that's something that's happening for you. I want to vote to ensure that when we're looking at things as far as like funding for schools at a national level, and we're talking about funding that is going to states like Illinois, how can we make sure that Illinois is actually held accountable and actually does what they're supposed to do to either give school choice or to improve the public schools? And actually it's an and at this point because they don't get to say they're not going to do school choice. Yeah. Like, how are we still rejecting school choice? Parents should be getting funding to go towards paying private school bills. Right. Chris shouldn't be denying parents of school choice. He shouldn't be denying waitresses of being able to protect $25,000 of their tip revenue. Right. Yeah. He shouldn't still be taxing overtime. But he's still doing all of these things. And that's what I'm going out. I'm running for Congress is basically to tell the truth on a bigger stage, because a lot of people go to Congress and they lie. Mm-hmm. A lot of the Congress people for Illinois, they go to Congress and they lie. And they don't tell the truth about how bad it is here. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that we can continue to exist with. This is like living in North Korea. Mm-hmm. So I want to break down the wall of North Korea and go and tell the truth, but also vote to make sure that Illinois' lives are actually improving. So while we're sending people to Congress, at the federal level, we have to also advocate for people at the state level to ensure that the General Assembly can come out of a super minority to ensure that some of these seats that matter so much, are actually turning red, and not just turning red because, it's the Republican Party, but turning real and turning true. Right. You have to have integrity back behind these seats. So that's why.
Danny, from a grassroots perspective, other folks saying they're tired of
Everything.
And everybody.
We are in a one-party system, a Democratic stronghold in Chicago. And that has been this way since 1931. Jeez. So you can't blame the Republicans, all Democrats here. We are tired. But the thing is, people are scared to speak up. See, guys, what's going on here is a battle between good and evil. This is
That's right.
Yes, it is.
Since the beginning, when we allowed sin to come in, we disobeyed God. We share space, right? Good and evil share space. And for so long, we have allowed evil to gain more ground.
Right.
We know what's right, but we have allowed them to gain more ground because we are scared to speak up for what's right. We are scared because the Democratic Party or Satan they label you. And you label or he'll come after your money like it has been in Chicago to retaliate against you if you speak up for what's right. And so we have put money over what's right over God. We have put in everything, scared to be called names, fascists, or you're homophobic, you're xenophobic, you're all of this. We have allowed Satan to shut us up.
Right.
But we know what's right. So what happens is the evil becomes, it seems like they're louder, it's more of them. When it's more of us than it is them, but we're just quiet and silence. So that's what's going on, and that's what's going on in Chicago and Illinois. But we got to look at the spirits that govern Chicago. We have a murderous spirit there. We have a spirit of mammon, which you love money. That's why a lot of those pastors have sold out. So we have a spirit of worship in flesh and ideology of your color. So it's a lot of things that's governed Chicago. And so we must go into the spirit to pull down those strongholds.
Right.
It's all spiritual, guys. It's all spiritual. So this is what's happening. So I had to get that out, guys, and let you all know that. But anyway, on the ground, God said, who's gonna go in? Who's gonna do it? If there's one, who's gonna do it? And so we had people like Miss Jessica, Zoe Leigh, just called them and they answered the call. And they went down there and they was fearless down there. And they were going down there and challenging evil and challenging the Democratic Party. And when people saw that, it woke people up like, wow, this is what's going on. And it gave me myself, because I was fighting another fight. I was fighting my husband is a CPD officer. So they was making him, I knew it was unconstitutional, make him get the COVID shot and his livelihood. They threatened his livelihood, the party of democracy and things. They told him if he didn't get that COVID shot, they was going to take his livelihood, his pension and everything. So I was fighting another fight. They were down there fighting. They was in the trenches fighting this system, the democratic machine. So God used them to really encourage me to say, you know what? I have to speak out. I have to speak out on what's going on. And so I was speaking out, like I said, on the ground level. I was going out there because I was out there protesting with Brighton Park, and they tried to put that the first tent city in our community. And I was fighting when they, because I'm a personal trainer, and I would try to go to the park and have workouts for the people in the community. And they gave me such a hard time. I had to go get permits and insurance and things. And I saw illegal aliens being allowed to operate on my block where I pay high property taxes and open up restaurants on the streets. And they didn't just have chips and things. They had license. Where's the department to make sure the food is right and all that? None of that sanitation, none of that. And they had generators and hot food, fry machines and stuff, tacos, things they cooking. They had things set up booths where they were serving people with aprons on the street. Yes, and they were allowed to. They were allowed to, because I called the aldermen and all that. They were allowed to. The police can't arrest them. It's terrible. So with that being said, that was my fight. So the temperature on the ground is, at first, guys, it was hard. We was getting called sellouts. We was getting called cools. We were all getting called all of that. And the more we went up there and exposed the truth and kept going, and God like, keep going, y'all, keep going, keep going. Now, the same people that talked about us are now emailing us saying, hey, could you come over here and help us? Because illegal aliens have taken over our apartment buildings. They selling drugs, they're prostituting, they're everything. So the temperature on the ground is, at first, like Tedora and them said, it's hard. The devil gonna come at you with everything. But if you keep going, because right now Chicago flips red, nothing we do is planned. We're being guided. We don't learn anything. He's guiding us strategically. So now we're just doing what we know we need to do, and everything is coming to fruition. Everybody is coming together. So the temperature on the ground, God is doing it, and I'm so happy He's waking our people up, the Black community.
That's right.
Yes, call me anything but a Democrat. Okay. Is Chicago safer today than it was 10 years ago? I think it's about the same.
It's the same.
I think it's the same. 4 years. How long you were closed? Because I was in Georgia, so I know exactly. I was living in Georgia, so I know exactly how. Yeah, that's my mindset too. But what when you guys were closed, it was still you didn't have. I mean, they were stealing all your money, all COVID money. But like, was the violence prevalent?
Well, let me say something. Anybody that has a business in Chicago, one of my daycares, I had two, Little Shepherd's Academy and then Little Shepherd's Academy Beverly. And we were forced to actually make our 2-year-olds wear masks. They shut me down because I just couldn't. There's no. We were forced to make sure that these 2-year-olds had masks on all day, and then they will send their little puppies, from the state properties, the city of Chicago, sanitation. They will come knock on the door. They would, making sure we'll have to just come. You have to let them in. So they will have to just walk around and make sure, oh no, this person doesn't have a mask on. Oh, how old is this baby? Or it was horrible. Then they sent us over the labor, their new labor law, right? And this is telling you they shut us down. Anybody with a business in Chicago, y'all know what they did to us.
They did essential and non-essential.
That's what I was about to say. So I applied for essential work. I had postal people, I had nurses, everything. My daycare held 103 kids. Okay. When COVID hit, I knew it was going to be a problem. I didn't know it was going to be this big because nobody knew. But they changed the labor law and said that if one of my employees in a house got sick, we still had to pay these people. So we don't know if they sick for real.
Yeah.
You gotta understand I'm dealing with the urban community, right?
I understand. Oh, 10 days.
Let me tell you why. I tell everybody my situation about.
How do I vote for you?
Because listen, this is the thing, and I'm not gonna go down course, but this is one of the reasons why I tell everybody about the Biden administration, what they did to me with my daycares, because it was okay for me when I was helping urban communities, people that were dependent on their system.
Yeah.
But when I started the real estate, where I was getting people off the system, making them homeowners, you want to attack me because I'm not going according to your system anymore. So now you have the Black people that I'm doing affordability. Okay, I'm making sure they get homes. I'm making sure that they have the right paperwork. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. You got to wait another year. So I'll get this program to you, rent it for a whole year, then you'll be able to buy. You understand? It was cool, but when I had the daycares, because more of the people were depending on the system, and when I say they shut me down, there was no way that Danielle can call me and say, "Hey, Miss T, how you doing? My brother got COVID, but you still got to pay me though." Oh, really? Okay. Okay, well, you know what? I don't fire people. I never have because of the lifestyle that I lived. I used to be a PS worker. I used to do so. I vowed to God I would never fire for anybody. But guess what? I shut down. I will close before I allow the city of Chicago and the Illinois state, the Illinois. I will not let you guys control my private Christian school. Okay, I will not let you control me. So, and I wasn't receiving any food service money, anything like that. The only thing I was receiving was daycare action, and that was because of the urban community. So they shut me down. I'm still pissed off at them. I think I should have a lawsuit.
You should.
Yeah, this is how far it goes when you think about Chicago and what they did to us, especially entrepreneurs. That business, I had that business there, y'all, since 2005. That's crazy. For it to close down because of COVID, because of your new rules, city of Chicago, no. So when I see you guys coming after them, I was ready to regardless. However we can get it. Let's get it. Yes. So no. I think it's about the same, but it forced me to close my businesses, both of them.
But let me say about crime. No, it's not. Actually, it's worse because they dumped 50,000 illegal alien. We say 70. You always gotta count 20 more thousand. Like 22.
That's not true.
Yeah, 22 more million. When they say there's 22 million. You always gotta count because they lie and they don't show transparency. They don't know anything about that. So when they dump 70,000, I'm gonna go with Trump saying, when they dump 70,000 illegal criminals was because a lot of them had records. My husband was a CPD officer. Then they don't. So you got to think about that. So we had our crime plus their crime. So no, it didn't go down. And so, and my husband, he did the game tax. He was on the narcotics. He was on big boys. He headquarters, every facet he worked. So he knew what was going on. So when they was lying about the numbers, no, it didn't go down. It was actually, and then the migrant crime, they wasn't reporting it. Because with this, you don't ask about the status.
Right.
It's just, I mean, what their immigration status is. So yes, so it didn't go down. No, it's not down. And when you are in the streets, because I'm from the south side of Chicago and been all around there, you know the blocks. These gangs, it's not gangs where they have mile radius, it's blocks. It's blocks. And so it's a handful that's doing all the crime. And they know this because they got gang intelligence. So if they wanted to stop this, they could. But they don't want that because that 832 million of crime prevention money, that's going in their pocket. So they don't, and the more death and the more crime, that's more money they get. So this is what's been allowed to happen. So no, it's not. And we know, me and my husband and everybody we know around here, we know the gangs who's doing this because you can almost know, like he said, you can go on the internet or you know these boys. If 052 gets somebody shoot them, then they're gonna retaliate to THL. Then they go, yeah, so it's gangs. It's different gangs. And you know if he killed one of their members, it's gonna be 5 more they member retaliation. So you know this, but they don't care. So my husband would say, we know how we would go and try to stop it, prevent evictions before it starts, before the retaliation. But they put no money into it to help with that. They just lie about the crime numbers, people not reporting and things like that. So no, crime is not that.
So I think with Chicago, like I said, I like data. Chicago doesn't really like data. Chicago likes to manipulate numbers. So actually talking about things that we would have had today that would have given us more accurate assessment of where crime is in the city. You don't have ShotSpotter. So you don't have ShotSpotter. So you're not able to truly see, oh, there were just gunshots on 63rd, in Ellis. So we're gonna send a unit over there to see what happened. So there was a lady who was literally, she probably lived a couple blocks away. I actually heard the gunshots when that mother died. I heard those gunshots that night. The next morning, my husband told me there was one who was gunned down in her alley on the way to church. ShotSpotter would have got a unit to her quicker. ShotSpotter didn't, because you know why? Brandon Johnson took ShotSpotter. That's right. But he said that that's failed. He said that a system that detects gunshots is a failed system, and it's not a good way to detect crime. So we have when somebody's catalytic converter is being taken off their car in a Walmart parking lot or downstairs in front of your building, units aren't getting to places in an expedited manner. And if a unit doesn't get there while the crime is still happening, was there a crime? No. So when they say, oh, crime is down in Chicago, no, crime isn't down, response times are down. We're down 3,000 to 5,000 officers. Again, response times are down. The only thing down in Chicago is cops. That is. We don't have enough cops getting to the crime in a timely fashion.
Right.
Through things like what she spoke about with the COVID mandate, that forced a lot of officers into early retirement. And a lot of them quit or went to work in the suburban areas because they were not willing to comply. They shouldn't. I didn't get it.
It didn't make any sense to me.
It didn't. That's makes sense.
The pandemic seems to me like the birds, the flowers, the trees, everything would die. Oh, that's a pandemic.
Right.
But
Right, it was a plan, baby, like. Yeah, but as far as crime in Chicago, the crime has changed, and I think that the evolution of it is what we're really all grappling with, because it has migrated to a younger population. You have a lot of the time when I, speak with my husband, the people that he's coming into contact the most are young Black kids. They're 17 years old, and they're off Xanax, and they have guns on them with a switch. It's 3 or 4 of them in a stolen car, and our officers can't even chase them. They're not allowed to chase. And if Chicago doesn't let you chase unless they're doing a new crime in the stolen vehicle. See, the driving in a stolen vehicle is not a crime. You cannot chase them because they're getting stolen vehicles. They need to be doing a new crime in the stolen vehicle. And then if they drive too fast, the supervisor say stop the chase. Anytime I talk about things that sound crazy, I always tell people to go to Google Chicago solutions for chase and engaging with somebody. So crime is not down. People's cars have never been less safe. If you leave a single thing in your vehicle, it'll probably be gone in the morning. They
stole my new Osco gift cards. My daughter left my garage open on accident. They went in my damn truck. Stole my new Osco gift cards. That was the only thing left in there.
I've had 4 employees lose catalytic converters on the streets of University of Chicago.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
No, and that's exactly what 2 weeks ago I was on the phone with my husband. He works nights. So I was on the phone with my police officer. And I'm talking to him, just chatting. Next thing I hear is gunshots right in front of my building. So I live in a unit where my landlord actually lives upstairs. He saw somebody meddling with one of the people's cars in front of our building. And he just tries to tell him, get away from that car. They started shooting at our building. Oh. So I was on the phone with my husband. I'm like, baby, you're shooting at the building. Literally here, I'm like, I've never heard gunshots closer. I mean, it sounded louder than when I'm at the gun range. Like, that's how loud. But this is not a unique experience. Somebody should be, for Black Chicagoans, when I'm talking to Black people, I'm like, you gotta get tired of not, if you park your car on the street, your car should be fine in the morning. That is not a luxury.
But you know what? You don't even have to park your car. My son was carjacked.
Yeah.
Even he was a teenager carjacked on the south side of Chicago. Pistol whipped. They took his friend's car, him and his friend. They found the car, so they probably did exactly what they said with the car. So you don't even have to be out of your car for this to happen. The carjacking.
I know it's not a popular opinion, but I encourage all Chicagoans to carry. Get your concealed carry and understand when you are allowed to utilize it, because to her question, it's not safer. It's not safer in Chicago. Crime is not down. It's just changed. The property crime is now at a higher level than I think it's ever been before. And property crime can easily turn into homicide.
And with that being said, when they do those things, insurance also goes up.
Yeah.
It affects all of us.
Yes, it does.
No matter what zip code you're in, it affects all of us.
It does.
It does. Yeah, and you can't even at a red light.
Yeah.
You stopped at a red light. I keep saying this, you can't even stop. Most people at night, they keep driving. That's why at a red light at night or in it during the day. Them cars, and you gotta watch who's running is driving inside of you.
Yes.
Because they're jumping out. And they not jumping out one gun. It's 3 of them and they all got guns. So if you are carrying, they got the other guns. So you can't do it. So they're smart. Everything that you're doing, these criminals know. They know the police can't chase them. They educate themselves on what the police can't do, so they know how to counter them and how the criminal activities and manipulate it. So this is where we are at. I'm telling you, it's real bad.
Please address the situation about ICE, because when you listen to Channel 2, we're gonna go after ICE. We're gonna go after ICE. So wrong. Because we support that.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to go over there?
Oh yeah. That's the question. That's public safety.
Yeah.
First of all, ICE is never gonna be about this.
No,
it's not.
No,
It's a government agency. They paid up until 2028.
Right.
It's not going anywhere either. So I don't know what these communist dummies. We're fighting communism. And they're not listening. You know, we woke up, the niggas woke up. So, but no, ICE, for me, I'm gonna say something we can go to. As Philly Flip Red says, Alante, we voted for this. We voted for this. Yeah, they dumped 50,000 illegal in the city, and then they put majority of them in our community. Ronnie Manuel had a plan called the New Arrivals Plan, and he just knew that was the last. They just knew that Kamala was going to get it. They just knew that because we vote blue no matter who, that she was going to get it. And they after around, so ICE needs to be here. I wish that I really wish the military. I always say that. And I feel like we're at a point. Our kids were playing Grand Theft Auto, you know, we're in real life Russian roulette. So I really do feel like the military needs to be here, and the National Guard, and not in a way. I think it would give the kids. It would make them believe in something. You know, they wouldn't be out there. Yeah, they wouldn't be out there trying to shoot them. They know that they're dead. You understand what I'm saying? But it would give them something to believe in, to want to see people their age being able. There's another option. Like you can go to the military. You like shooting? Yeah. You like shooting? You like posting? You know,
The morale is down, police, the reason why you don't see them reacting like that, because they have no power. If they go, they're going to get Brett Johnson is going to make sure that he go after them if they're working with ICE anyway. Or, do something with the illegal aliens, he's going after them. So they're not even, that's why most of them are retiring. They're not trying to even work hard to do anything, because they know it's a chance. Whatever I try to do, first of all, police gonna get blamed for everything. And now bringing job with the illegal aliens, now my job is at risk. So it's, you just have empty suits. They're just standing up there. They cannot work for ICE. They can't even help ICE officers. So if you hit, that messes them up, because they know what's right. They made an oath to say, I'm going to protect. Right. So they know this is wrong, and it messes them up mentally. That's why you see a lot of police officers, they're killing themselves and things like that, suicide. So this is very serious with these officers. So I just wanted to say that.
Can I ask a question for you, Congress? I grew up in Pilsen, Little Village, and the gang mentality, that's not gonna go away. They're not gonna change who they are once they're in the game. But a lot of times what I'm seeing is you're doing crime, but you're not doing time.
Yes.
So we're not gonna change the gang bangers. How do we help? Because most blacks, most Hispanics, it's that those cycles, right? It's like, oh, which one got killed? That's all we hear, and it's normal, but it's not normal. How are you gonna stop that? What do you want to do?
So one thing I want to empower people with before I get into how Congress helps is the biggest thing you can do as a citizen is stop the General Assembly. So the General Assembly, when they are meeting in Springfield, they have to post their agenda on what all legislation they're going to review, what House bills they're going to review. You can get ahead of them signing things into law like the Safety Act or even things like PICA. You can get ahead of that by submitting witness slips in opposition of damaging legislation that allows for people who've been arrested 70 times to still be walking. Because right now what officers are doing is that it's technically an arrest, but the person never stepped before the inside of the jail. They fill out an arrest card. It's basically, I believe it's called an arrest card. It's like they're not actually arresting. people. So it's like when you have this situation where we're not actually detaining people, or they're detained overnight and then they're back out in the morning, that is because of safeguards like the Safety Act. The Safety Act basically created an ecosystem where they felt like people were being detained unlawfully and for too long because of bails. So when you have these different issues where now people can't actually be detained, and you have Prep Legal deciding that her goal was to empty the jails. That was one of her main goals for Cook County, was to empty the jails, and she did. She actually did. They are on the streets, and then we also lost mental health hospitals. So it's these people. A lot of these people are regulars. They are regulars. And, yeah. They are regulars. So the thing that you want to do is you have to check that website. And it's unfortunate that as an Illinoisan, you have to babysit people who are being paid $94,000 a year. I believe they're being paid at the state level to do a job. You have to babysit them because they go there and they decide things like, oh, we are going to. One bill they signed in that I didn't pay attention to was that it was, for instance, the school, is gonna do construction on the school building. If they do construction on more than 50% of the school building, they now have to convert all the bathrooms into all gender restrooms at the school. This is a law that was signed in and has been in effect. Some schools don't abide by it because they're deciding that, hey, I'm not gonna follow that rule. But this is real legislation that has been signed into law in Illinois. So as an Illinoisan, until things change, you will have to babysit the General Assembly, and you will have to submit witness slips. They do work. It's not always foolproof, because what the General Assembly will do sometimes is they'll just reschedule the vote, and you have to do all witness slips again. But when you continue to have people saying, I'm going to literally thwart any attempt that you're making to make it where lawlessness is basically celebrated in this state, you have to push back against that. Push back when they try to regulate law-abiding citizens owning weapons or being able to acquire ammunition. Why is it so hard to get ammunition and to have a weapon as a law-abiding citizen? It's because of legislation. Here in Illinois, they're taxing every unit of ammunition. They tax the actual bullet. There's a tax on every bullet here. And then they tell you how big of a cartridge or a magazine you can even have for a law-abiding citizen. My husband is an officer and he's still struggling to get magazines for things. Doesn't make sense. So these are the General Assembly. Now, at the federal level, what can be done? A lot of funding that goes to police departments does come through grants and different programs from the federal level. Right now, what we see is that there are not enough caveats for this federal funding. One thing that I am running on is to make sure that there are more safeguards when federal funding walks into this state. Illinois is not a state that has integrity or morals or values. So because of that, I want funding to still be available to Illinoisans, because you all shouldn't suffer because of bad leadership. But what we do have to do is make sure that there's real oversight and real true safeguards on where funding is going and how it's being used. If we're sending funding to police departments, I want it to go to actual materials for the police. I want them to have better squad cars. I want them to have better bulletproof vests. Do you know CPD has to pay for a lot? They pay for their gear on the front end. Why are our officers paying? They go into debt thousands of dollars to even become. A lot of people don't know that. In order to become a CPD officer, you have to go into basically debt. It's thousands of dollars to even get all of that gear. Why is that a thing? It doesn't make sense. So if I'm doing legislation to make sure that grants are opened up to Illinois, or that federal funding is going to infrastructure in the state, it needs to actually go to officers being able to do their job better, not to fake violence interruption programs, or to things like what they'll do right now for a lot of funding I was looking at is it'll go to community policing programs. You can't community police in hostile environments. So why are we continuing to provide funding for these fake programs that don't go into effect? I want to provide funding for data-driven things that do work. ShotSpotter is a data-driven program. That should be something that is funded at the federal level and taken care of, or pushing more resources to that. I want to see more connections between the federal agencies, federal law enforcement agencies, and in states. So how can we create better connections between that? A lot of these things do come down to data, and a lot of times our local departments don't even have access to all the tools they need, the digital tools they need to actually do their jobs better. So when I'm looking at funding for things like that, I want to see stipulations. I don't want to just see, oh, we'll give police funding if it's for community police and stickers. No, because law-abiding citizens should be able to be comfortable parking their car at night. Kids should be able to ride their bike a little bit. It's like a lot of things that a lot of kids who live in the city, they're just not going to be able to do. And it's because this city has literally allowed itself to succumb the lawlessness. And like she said, the fatigue for officers is unreal. They can't, between all of the lawsuits that have been waged against DPD, because they literally lifted a finger or used a little bit of force. Now, there are bad apples in every role in America. There's bad apple teachers, there's bad apple nurses, there's bad apple officers and everything. But we can't just make it seem like if an officer uses force against somebody who is also using force against them, that they're automatically a bad person. So we can't keep incentivizing people to commit a crime, and then you get to win a lawsuit because you committed a crime. That doesn't make sense. It bankrupts the city and it uses up vital funding that should have gone to actual law enforcement and strengthening the department, not just people getting giant lawsuits or because they're, they got their head bumped by them.
So I'm going to piggyback on everything that she said. I'm just gonna put in a nutshell. This is why we have to knock down the Democrat machine. Because at the state level, like she said, that's where it's at. That is exactly where it's at. So you need to go and talk to, I'm sure a lot of people know Democrats, right? You have to explain to them everything that is going on. They don't even care. They don't know. It's to the point where everything that she just said, I don't have to repeat it, right? Everything she said, but it goes back to the state. It goes back to the state. And when you talk about crime, because I didn't get on it because I don't live in Chicago, but I'm a West Sider. I'm from Chicago. And my daycare is in Chicago. What I can say is, I commend you for running against, especially against Jonathan Jackson. And for you to actually be, that's in the first district, we have to pray for you. Like there's, and I'm bringing this up because I know my district. I know what we need. Okay, I know we need safer communities. I know, but our thing is different. We getting 6 figures. You understand? So we need the tax breaks. There's different when it comes down. That's why I said earlier, you have to know what you're running for. You have to know your district. So someone asked me before, why did you run for the 2nd district? You know what I said? I want to win. Okay, I'm not playing any games because if we listen, I wouldn't play games with the 2nd district because I don't want to have to pull out my gun. Okay, that's number one. Number 2 is I'm from the 7th district. Okay, with LaShawn Ford. I don't know if you guys think the video I put up the other day. LaShawn Ford came on there and said he went into a school and he told the Hispanic boy. The boy said, "Can you promise me that my dad don't get taken away anymore?" And he said, "I promise you that I'll abolish ICE." So I came back and said, LaShawn, no, my brother, you should explain to him that why his father's in this situation. If he's in 4th grade and he's able to ask that question about his father, tell him, because at this age, you're 9 or 10 years old or 8, you got to make decisions, especially if your father is illegal immigrant. So I came back and said, and I actually posted it on my page so people can see it, right? Over 2,000 people follow me. I posted it. So I got people from the West Side and the South Side and all Democrats and everybody still following me. You think one person said anything? Not crickets. Oh, because I said the truth. Going back to the crime. Why would they stop crime in Chicago? Why would they stop crime in Chicago? If they stop crime in Chicago, guess what? Nurses won't get paid. Hospitals are going to be dead. Police officers, they're not. What's going to happen? Come on, listen? Legal Star's going to be out of a business. Okay, let's just keep it real around here. We do not have to sugarcoat what we see. Yes. This is what's going on. So why would they stop it? They won't until we get a Republican mayor in office that can support what we need for not just Chicago, but the state of Illinois. And we need to cut sanctuary cities and states. That's just it. When you talk about ICE is doing their job. That's just it. That's it. I don't care what nobody says. If you are illegal in this country, you made a choice. You stood before and made a choice. This is the reason why they're running. They're running from the Department of Justice. They're running from ICE because they know they've done something not right.
That's right.
So this is why I told LaShawn Ford, tell the boy the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think he said anything? No, he did not.
Nope.
So I let everybody know, and this is who you guys are gonna vote for. Because like I said before, you're being replaced.
See, the thing is, the Democrats know that they lie. What they do is they lie about everything. What they do is they depend on uneducated voters.
Yeah.
They know that their voter base is not politically educated. We as Black Americans, we were never taught to look at policies or to be politically educated. We were just taught vote blue no matter who. Democrat is for the Black people.
Yeah.
Republicans, they're racist.
Yeah.
They never focus on racism. So they know they have uneducated voters politically. So they use that and always have used the ignorance. So therefore they can tell you that I'm gonna make sure that your father, abolish ICE. Everybody who's an educated voter, we know that it's a supremacy clause. You can't abolish ICE. That's you can't. But to the low educated voters, that sounds good. And they are saying, if you notice, all the Democrats are running on abolishing ICE. And so it's our job. It's our job. You, the community, it's our job, like Chicago Field, we are making sure that we educate our people on the policies and what's happening. Because if you don't, they're gonna keep continually to lie to the people, and they're gonna go right in that voter booth and believe those lies like they do every election cycle, and they're gonna vote blue. So our job, everybody in this room, is to, when you see things like that, you can't care what people are gonna call you and say. You have to put out facts and the truth and educate the people, because if you don't hear the truth, you don't know the truth. And the Bible says, if you hear the truth and living it out, that's the only thing that's gonna set people's minds free. So it's everybody. So yeah, we gotta put out the truth like you did, like we continue to do, and like you have to do. We all have a duty. Yeah, we all have a duty to do this.
Believe. Yeah, you know that, school day. For school choice, 1 minute now.
You say 1 minute, that's the beginning.
So yes, I support school choice. I support school choice because I think that it really helps to help close the wealth gap for many families all across the country. Too often we see that the Democratic policies focus on either extreme poverty and then it's nothing else. That's the only group they really focus on. What they leave behind is the diversity of the middle class. The middle class is a diverse range of earners. And when you have something like not having access to school choice in your state, it deprives you of essential wealth that you can use to replace your different things across your house, your roof and things of that nature. It really causes a lot of strain on most households. It causes people not to decide to have as many children. So if people have access to school choice and they can actually take some of that funding with them to a school, it makes the other schools more competitive. It doesn't just drain that school. That public school should decide to become a choice. If they don't want to work to be a choice, you can't entrap children and just keep them and hold them hostage. So school choice is essential for parents who are being robbed of their tax dollars and who need to have a secondary choice and have some support so they can still educate their children in a school that is actually going to prepare them for post-secondary education. So I support.
Okay, I support it. This is why I put this in my purse. Okay. Only 29% of CPS students are proficient in reading. Only 18% of CPS students are proficient in math. Break it down by race, it's even way worse. So when we put out the facts, let people argue with the facts. I support that. CTU, if you can, Chicago Feels Red, we go protest in front of CTU office Mondays and Fridays. We are committed to making sure the parents and everybody know this
know about the schools and know about the money they're stealing from our community.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, I support it and we need people in that's gonna push those policies because we have to dismantle those unions, especially CTU, that's a communist criminal organization.
Yeah.
I support school choice. I'm a homeschool mom. My kids went to private Christian school forever. And, if anyone is familiar with, Circle Rock on the west side of Chicago, is now, they actually turned into, this is why we found Emmanuel Lutheran, because they turned it from a Christian school into a charter school. But as I understood, it was about the money, you know? It wasn't about the children, wasn't about the kids. But I believe we need school vouchers. We people, this is what we need. And when it comes down to our kids' education, you know, our schools should educate and not try to silence us as parents. This is what we're pushing for. And on the federal level, I believe that we need to give all of it back to the local government. Like I said, I'm a Chicago Public School graduate all the way from kindergarten all the way up until high school. And I'm very educated. So we know that Chicago Public School have worked because you have people standing up here like us, you know. So this is, I'm not gonna waste your time because you want your minutes. So yeah, so I support school choice for sure, 100%.
So, can I say something about school choice? I'm agreeing with them because my daughter, my youngest child, all my children are in a private school, but my youngest child, she has an IEP. CPS, I'm fighting right now. It's my kid versus CPS. It's a case right now in courts that I'm fighting CPS because they're saying that the only way they'll give my child her FAPE is if she goes to the local school, go back to CPS. They're not going to give her services at her private Christian Catholic school.
They need a legal.
Yeah. They're trying to refuse to give her.
Don't stop though.
I'm not. They're so mad.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't have a lawyer, you're doing all this? Yes, because I studied the law.
Yeah. No, we got. Hey, we got.
Next question.
I think number 3 behind sanctuary cities and what you've been talking about is that workers' right
Yeah.
legislation. What nationally would you guys do when you get elected to combat that here in Illinois? Because we have no collective bargaining rights as citizens.
Against private corporations.
No, us as citizens are done because the workers' rights was sold as helping the workers. But all it helps is the SEIU.
Oh, yeah, the unions.
Yes.
That's what they're speaking about.
What would you do legislatively to combat that here?
Me personally, I mean, like, if I can get to that level, you know, I would introduce a bill expeditiously to cut all unions. You know,
I'm not worried about the unions, but
when you talk
to
about.
get our rights back to.
Right, so I was in SEIU when I first opened up my daycare because I didn't know better. So I understand because it's all about property. That's all.
The very few are winning.
Yeah, but it's going back to listen. You guys have to speak to your peers because there's only so much that we can do. And I keep saying, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you what it is. Once you talk to your peers and you can explain to them what's really going on, it's going to be their choice, right? But we just pray. And this is the only way it's going to work is the power of prayer. This is where we're at right now. Because we can speak and we can talk our eyes off and we can talk about, like you said, federal taxes. We can talk about ICE. We can talk, but we all know that the power of prayer actually works because guess what? Trump is in office. And everybody knows that they thought Kamala was going to win. And everybody knows.
I didn't.
We know that it can actually. Yes, that's what we know that it can work. We know that it can work. But we as Republicans, we cannot be afraid. This is what. How do you think that we Black women up here, we're not afraid to speak the truth. The truth works. I don't care whatever you think, it actually works. It may not work at this moment,
but it's on its way. You understand?
It's
And
built.
that's the thing. That's what we're getting to. It is on its way. As our president told us last year when he got inaugurated, he said, we're going to go through some trying times. Because this is the thing, as a business owner, if you're picking up a business from somebody and they're screwed already, now we got to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, turn it
So
around.
you can go through the, if you're not, and I understand on a business level, but he explained it to the entire world. He told everyone. Crime because your taxes are always fluctuating. I went to get this sweater today and here there was 4 different taxes on the sweater just because I live in Cook County in Chicago. So for the person who's just a regular citizen, they are being penalized more and more and more. Whereas, like I said, you can't really penalize criminals here. So for things like the gangs or even things like you said with the workers' rights situation, we have to see the way that other states are functioning is that the federal government is intertwined in the state government. So when you're looking
at something like a workers' rights or how unions are interacting with the people they're supposed to represent, their rights are given to them between the governing body of that union, and it also is some things as far as like the state level. So how can we create more continuity between the federal government, that state organization, and then also the unions to see how people can actually get the representation they're entitled to? Because right now in Illinois, in districts like Congressional District 1, they're not getting the representation they're entitled to. Jackson just showed up, I heard, in New Lenox, because I've been going up and down this district. I don't think he's ever been to New Lenox.
Yes.
Yeah, he came to New Lenox because he knows that there's an actual person running in this district who's going and talking to as many people as she can. I have 4 kids, mind you. I have 4 small children, 3 through 13.
I met them all.
Yeah, you met him. I think you met him. You met him. They got him hot dogs. And yeah.
Hey, we got to stick to this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Yeah, we have to stick to this. Now, if anybody would like to leave, y'all can leave. If y'all are impatient, y'all can leave. This is our first one, so we're trying to get it together. So thank you. I've been trying to do this before Chicago Flips Red. I tried to do panels with a whole bunch of people, and nobody didn't want to do them. So now that I'm doing them, I'm trying to get everything together. So if anybody's impatient and they want to leave, they can leave. And anyone who would like to stay, I appreciate you guys staying. Thank you. Why are Illinois residents leaving the state? Yeah.
That's good. So when we talk about Illinois residents leaving the state, I think that it's a combination of a few factors. There's not enough job and job growth potential. There's not enough housing. Right now, if you pull up Trulia and you were to say, for instance, pull up the rental properties. I like to talk about rental properties. I know it's not popular. People don't always like rental properties. But for younger families, they usually are looking to rent for a while so they can buy a home. Right now, we have about 17,000 rentals in the state of Illinois. Indiana has 11,000. Does that make sense? No. We have the biggest city one of the biggest cities in America, and we have 17,000 rental properties. We have a housing shortage. If you have a housing shortage, you also have you're less likely to entice companies to come to your state because you don't have enough housing for workers to migrate to the state. People are leaving because our education is bad. Our state is not safe. The cities are not safe. We have, like I said, we have no jobs. And the overall trajectory of just life here in this state is just not set up for people to feel like they have a good likelihood of being able to retire here. Our pension crisis is always on the news nationally. So that doesn't make people feel confident in Illinois' ability to make sure that pensions actually pay out. So these are all things that kind of come together to make Illinois not feel like a good choice for businesses or for families. A lot of people have left. The biggest population that has left Illinois has been the under 18 population. That means their parents took them. We have lost children. So that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing right now is the exodus of children leaving the state, which means that we'll have a gap. We'll be facing another gap as far as workers and different things down the line because we lost a lot of children.
Listen, we are going to continue to lose businesses, residents, and every death and migration. And the reason why is until we flip Chicago and Illinois red, this is what you're going to see. The Democratic Party is a communist party. We can't say socialism. We can't sugarcoat it. They want communism. They want you to own nothing and be happy. That's why they're pushing affordable housing. And they're stealing our property through property taxes, through illegal deeds and things like that. They're taking our property. And this is all done by design. We got to deal with these judges. See, it's so much corruption with these judges. This with Cook County, with the city. So it's everything. That's why we keep saying we have to destroy this democratic machine. It's a machine, and everybody is strategically put in place to keep the corruption going.
Yes.
So before we do anything, we have to flip Chicago and Illinois red and get different leadership. That's why everybody is leaving, going to red states.
Yeah.
That's why we have to educate people. People don't even understand that
They go to Indiana to get cheaper gas and to go grocery shopping and come right back to Chicago. And both, they don't even understand, why do they do that?
They
You
don't
gotta-
think that
Yeah, the policies. It's the policies. You go in there for cheaper gas, for the low taxes, for the when you tax on food. That's why you're going there. And it's a red state. So we have to educate our people on policies. We have to do that. If we don't educate people on policies, they're gonna keep voting blue and go right there and vote that way. So it's until we educate the people and get different leadership, we're gonna continue to have high property taxes, high state taxes, high city taxes, high crime. And in that, they're going to continue to lead. Because the Democratic Party, they're the party of communism. Their only goal is to push it, and they're going to do it. And you will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
My thing is, because a lot of the red counties are turning blue or have turned blue.
It's scary.
I mean, it's really scary. You're talking about Naperville. I mean, you're talking about DuPage is blue, guys.
But that's because it has to do with the.
No, I don't care what it's because. What I'm trying to say is it's blue. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There is red, but what I'm saying that it has been pushed to the point that it is blue. When have DuPage been blue? When? Naperville. When? Like it's to the point where Kane is turning blue. Kane County. Kane. We have liberals that are moving into these rural areas. Okay, this is what's going on. You have the low-income families moving into these Woodbridge, Downward's These are hot. Y'all know these places are red.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. Was red. Now McHenry. Come on. It's to the point. Why would we sit back and don't say anything? This is what we have to do. I mean, we must do this because if people see our faces, then maybe they can double check and think, wait a minute, why are they doing this? It's not just because somebody's successful, because somebody cares about your success. It's about what can you do for the people. And that's why I don't bring up all this different stuff, because it's not about that. It's about what you're gonna do for us now or when you get in there. And this is what we have to do to make sure that we bring people back to our state. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people are saying if we flip red, they'll come back. They'll come back. But we know what we have to do. Property tax is extremely high. Substantially.
Number one in the country.
That's sickening.
So what would you do?
The only thing I could do is cut them. We have to put a permanent pause.
Eliminate them.
That's right. A permanent pause on it.
One thing I mean to do to help with property taxes is when you're looking at the different groups of people who are struggling a lot. So I live in near Hyde Park, and there's a lot of people who bought their buildings. Like the owner of my building, I think he bought it for like $40,000. It's worth way more than that now. So you had a lot of historical people who invested in areas like that when it wasn't a great area, but now they're being taxed out because of the Obama Center. So they were supposed to be able to retire and keep these buildings and still be able to afford it, but now they can't even afford to keep it in their family because property taxes is literally driving them out of their buildings. So we look at things like that. If somebody is an owner of a building and they have units per se, you can do something at the federal level to counteract the taxes that they're paying on their building inside of the state, because I can't necessarily interact with the state taxation, but what you can do is counteract with federal tax cuts to really help to decrease how much they're paying at the federal level with incentives and things of that nature. So if you're looking at somebody being a veteran, you can create legislation to help with their tax, to help with the federal level based on how much property taxes they're paying inside of the state. So you have to look at the different classes of people that are property owners in the state and then see what you can do to create legislation that is basically like a trigger to see, like, if you're at this AGI, you can create legislation where the SALT deduction is increased to make it where people who earn a little bit more, the middle class, the diversity of the middle class, you can increase the SALT deduction where they can actually now deduct more of their property tax based on how much they're earning inside of their household as either a single or a married couple. So it's looking at those different groups of individuals and seeing how are you looked at? Are you a veteran? Are you a property owner of a building that has 2 to 4 units in it? Or are you a college student these are things you can then say, okay, at the federal level, we're gonna do this to counteract how much property taxes you'd be responsible for inside of the state. Because until we can get more people at the General Assembly, you have to send people to Congress who know what's happening inside of Illinois and then creates legislation to counteract or to even hold Illinois more accountable. Illinois depends on HUD revenue a lot. There's a lot of HUD funding that comes into this state, disappears. You don't see more housing. You don't see a lot of things. So when we think about HUD funding, okay, you can do something where the federal government can then say, well, this funding that is discretionary. So Congress controls the purse. So for discretionary funding that's coming into the state of Illinois, if we don't see the General Assembly or the state actually doing more to protect citizens from predatory property tax, you're now relinquishing 20% of your HUD funding. Illinois only responds to, I'm not getting funding.
That's what I'm gonna say. Stop.
That's the only thing that Illinois responds to, but if you don't want to do a whole total starvation, but you don't want to do a total starvation of funding because the Illinoisans don't deserve to be starved of all funding. So looking to see how you can create pressure, I think that having more oversight hearings for people like Pritzker, drag Pritzker to DC as often as possible for oversight hearings with Congress. That is something I would devote a lot of time to actually poll people to ask them, what is the thing you want me to focus on first if I get to Congress? And they said they wanted me to focus on corruption. And oversight hearings is a major way you can focus on corruption inside of Illinois. Bring people from the General Assembly to testify in front of Congress and actually ask them, this is what's happening to Illinoisans. What have you actually done to fix the property tax issue that you all have ran on for decades?
But see, that's the thing, when it comes down to that, and I'm not gonna say I disagree with you, but what I'm saying is that, how many times have you been to Washington? Several, correct? Has anything happened? Thank you. So this is what I'm trying to say. We can go and we can talk, and even we can talk about government oversight, which I believe we need in every area, from AI to finance to whatever.
Well, that's why I keep like a Republican majority is important, because then things can happen.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, when this is what you're dealing with again is the Democrat machine. So the machine only responds when they're not receiving the machine. When they're not receiving things for the machine. Right. So even if, we just have to just be honest. If we know that there's a lot of people that are depending on HUD funding, right? We know that 100%. But at the end of the day, if our governor is the one that is over this and that is allowing us, there's going to have to be a point where it's going to have to be cut if they're not doing their jobs. That's why I said cut permanent. I say permanent because you have several people.
They can just only cut discretionary funding. So Congress can't, you can't cut all of the HUD, and you can cut the discretionary funding.
So whatever discretionary cut, whatever it needs to be cut. That's all I'm saying. In order for them to understand that it needs to be addressed. Because as much as going on right now, they're not receiving what's going on. They think I don't know if they think it's a joke, or that's where the Secretary Turner comes in at. He's over HUD, right? So if they stop, I'm not saying you said discretionary, but what I'm saying is that if federal funding stopped coming in for HUD, if they stop that funding from coming, what's going to happen?
Well, then you would put more people out of business. So
I would, what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Even if that's the case, it comes to the point where it's though, when is it going to stop? So do you understand what I'm saying? When is it?
Forensic audit.
Yeah, that's all.
Every day, every week, you need a forensic audit every week.
We're not going to change. No, I keep saying you can talk about everything that you can do and you gotta do. Right now, if everybody don't get out with boots on the ground to change this democratic machine, nothing's going to change if these people get right back to elected in. I don't care if you go to the to Congress, go to Tongtail, we can go talk to them. Look how long we've been begging for a forensic audit. Teachers Union haven't gave a forensic audit in 4 years. They do what they want to do in Illinois and Chicago. They're going to do it. Exactly. Trump only got a few more years. We have to put boots on the ground. Our main goal right now, if we want to change anything, is to get
elect, get everybody up here that's Republicans, get rally behind them and see how we're gonna get them in office. That's the first thing. We got November, the midterm in November. We gotta get Pritzker up out of there.
Yeah.
So that means all of us need to have a ground game to educate people that's Chicago and Cook County, because those are the people that's gonna keep voting them back in. And like you said, the liberals up in neighborhood, things like that. That's right now, that should be our focus. Right now, the Democratic Party is in our communities. Brandon Johnson and all these people lying to us. Talk about they can abolish ICE and what they gonna do, going to the churches right now. Telling them what they gonna do right now. If we don't go and come back that, we just talk. So we need everybody to come and let's do this. All hands on deck. Boots on the ground. Everybody up here, we gotta get them in office to even make this change. That's what it is, guys.
All right.
Somebody won't ask you something.
Can I quickly comment?
Mhm.
You just hit the right chord with the property taxes. It has to be done on a federal level. There is no other way. Owners should not be paid for property taxes to pay for infrastructure and the schools. Everybody is walking in the streets. Everybody wants and has kids in school. It has to be done on a federal level. And that's how we should approach it. It's not a crazy idea. It's done in other parts of the world. The little country I come from, Poland, they have no property taxes. And there are funds to fund the infrastructure, the schools, the roads, and all that. You just have to be smart about it. And we are just punishing those that work the hardest in their life to the point that actually you are renting your own house. Not that you pay mortgage for it, you are renting your own house. Believe me, you just miss one payment and your taxes are going on sale. And that house is gonna go and be sold for fraction just because you didn't pay. And believe me, if you don't pay back with some additional penalties within 2 years, it's not yours anymore. We have to stop it. This is a highway robbery in a daylight time. So it has to all start, you're right, there's the right court at the federal level. Don't believe in that. It's a state problem. Don't even touch it, okay? Because it's garbage. It is a federal issue. That's why I think as a senator, I would do everything possible to make sure, get the alliances and coalitions to make sure this understood. People that work all their life for their little house should not pay for it.
The one thing I will say is because I am running as I say Christian first, but I'm a Christian conservative Republican. So my thing is always be mindful of the separation of government. So the separation of government is what kind of helps you to avoid tyranny at a national level. So when we talk about things happening inside of the state, we have to be mindful of what the state legislator is responsible for, because you want to respect the powers of the state governor, the General Assembly, and all of those things. So finding solutions that work in tandem is the route forward for a conservative Republican, because I want to make sure that we're not doing heavy-handed approaches that make it where states are now. Because here's the thing: if you empower Congress to get that heavy-handed, the moment the Congress is Democratic again, think about what your life would look like. So it's like, it sounds good when it's a
They ain't never getting back in there.
Yeah, and I hope and pray they're not. We hope and pray they're not, but you always want, like I said, I am running as a conservative, so being mindful of the separation of government is something that I'm learning more and more about every day, and understanding who's responsible for what, and then how do you create levers or create systems that create more of a ecosystem that is more harmonious for the US. So that's one thing that I'm always trying to work to do, so it's not, kind of doing a lot of like overreaching, because I am a conservative Republican.
All right. In closing, in 30 seconds, tell voters why they should trust you with their vote and where to find you guys at.
I'll go first.
Punch numbers, please.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 minutes. Well, you should vote for, if you guys know anyone in my district, you should vote for me, because I lived experience. And that I will fight for you the way that I fight for myself. I don't have to, all you have to do is just Google me. I think it all speaks for itself. We don't have to go back and forth. What I really want is for concerned people to email me their concerns, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or Independent, because once I am elected, I'm going to have to be for all the people of my district. So this is the reason why I'm sitting here today. I want you guys to continue to pray for me. And then, if you have any other questions, I'll be here afterwards, or you can always email me at www.tedora.brown.com.
What's that number?
No, I didn't put my phone number out.
No, the 39.
The punch number. Okay, I gotta get used to that. I gotta get used to that. But see, this is the thing. My punch number is 33 and I remember it. My punch number is 33. So if you're in Cook County and if you're in Cook County, I do have Palos Park and Lamont. That is a portion of my district if you're in Cook County. Palos Park and Lamont. Lamont.
Both for you, Larry Bird, 33.
Go. I got a whole bunch.
Pippin.
And I listen, let me say something. I cannot be bought, as you guys know that, but I can always be taught. That's the thing. So I want you guys to always remember that as well.
And I just want to say, listen, our job right now is to get these Republicans in office right now and get them on the ballot. So we need all volunteers, all help. Because like I said, we have boots on the ground. So you can email us at info@chicagoflips.red. And you can also message Chicago Flips Red on any.
You can message me. I answer.
And Zoe gonna give you her email as well. But you can message us on our social media, Chicago Flips Red. But right now we need all hands on deck.
You can go to flipsred.com and sign up to be a volunteer. Don't have me do all that.
Okay, good. Right, flipsred.com website and sign up as well. That's right. But yeah, guys, we need all the help we can.
In election day, you're gonna be a daily class.
Oh yeah, election day, we are going to be March the 17th at daily class. So what is that? 1 to 1, 11 to 1, noon to 1, 12 to 1. We have put the flyer out as well.
And actually, we will actually be there every month. Okay, so we are the first conservative group to get the daily plaza from 12 to 1.
We're also protesting CTU every Monday and Friday. If you want to come out, we need everybody, all hands on deck, guys, and much more. But you can email us and we'll give you all the info.
Okay. Miss Jackson would like to. No, I just want
to first say thank you to you all for getting this event together. I'm so gracious for it. Like I said, I just want to end on a note with the more empowered we all become about how government works. I realized I wasn't taught about how government works, and this is by design. So the more we can learn about how our local government works, state government and federal government, and then we send people who are going to go and be diligent in doing those jobs, that is how we start to really create the lives that we deserve to live. I want to end by saying your vote is the most powerful thing that you have for your school council, everything. Use it all the time and be selfish with your vote. It is yours. It is for you to use it so you can improve your life. Don't give it away like the Democratic Party always tells you to do. So my name is Christian Maxwell. My punch number is 32. I'm in a contested primary. Please vote for me because I am going to go to Congress, but also work diligently inside of the state to ensure that mothers, families, veterans, and the elderly are living better lives. Like I said, not everything has to happen with the bill. A lot of times it's you creating programs inside of your district that people can come to your district offices and benefit from. And that's one thing I really want to do is use my district offices. If I'm graced and blessed to be able to get this role, I want to use those offices to be hubs of resources and tools for the district. So they're not always waiting for legislation to go into effect the next year. Because you get a budget. You get a budget as a congressperson, and our congressperson isn't doing anything for us out of his district office. It's not a single thing. You can't go and get tutor in there. You can't go do anything at those offices. They're not bringing in, doing tutorials or demos for elderly. There's nothing happening. So that's something that I would do that could immediately go into effect. And that's how I would utilize the access of a congressional office to create immediate impact, and then voting, and then also creating bills and legislation by researching and being very diligent with talking to you all and making sure I know what the real issues are and seeing how we can address them with very creative strategies in bills that actually helps to improve our overall life. So you can find me at the Mod Pun is the Mod Pun on TikTok, and then Christian Maxwell for Congress on Instagram. And you can, if you go to my website, unitecd1.com, you'll find everything from there. Thank you all so much. That's it. Very.
Are you kidding?
That was it.
We done?
Oh, I've seen, yeah, Civic.
Yeah.
I was already, Chris, I love you. I was already following you. I just wanted to go do that. I was already, you're already in there.
My name is Jessica Jackson, and I wasn't gonna speak today, but I was hearing some comments that I think need to be addressed. Now, I'm 63 years old, and I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago, in South Shore. And I'm very proud to be a Negro from the south side of Chicago.
Amen.
Very proud of it. What got Chicago Flips Red started, and a lot of times the story gets buried in all the this and that, is that I was fighting for my mother's estate and her probate estate, the real estate in her probate estate. And in during that fight, I then met Zoe, who was outside protesting for her mother's property that had got taken by eminent domain. And we started fighting about the fact that Black people's property was getting stolen by the county and the city of Chicago. Something that has been going on in the Black community for decades, eons. So when I hear the conversations go on and on about the crime on the south side of Chicago, everybody got comments about the crime on the south side of Chicago. But everybody knows that street crime is manufactured by white collar crime. Everybody knows it. So if you really want crime to stop in Chicago, then you deal with public corruption. You deal with white collar crime, and it will stop. But to act like white collar crime does not exist in a city and a state and a county that has been known for public corruption for decades is a very unfair thing to do. The Republican Party has Donald Trump in office, and Trump is probably a one-of-a-kind president. The local Republicans in Chicago, Cook County, and Illinois have to take advantage of the fact that Donald Trump is in office.
Right.
We have not taken advantage of the fact that Donald Trump is in office. We allowed these white liberals to come here with this stuff about ICE and override Illinois like this, when we have a president in the White House right now that has made his stance clear, that got 77 million votes. The majority of the country said they wanted mass deportation. And he's doing what the people voted him to do. And for Illinois, Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker to be stopping him, and for the local Republicans to be this soft. I'm disappointed. The name of this organization, I was there the day when Zoe coined that phrase. I was sitting there when she coined that phrase. Flip Chicago red. And to think that Republicans think that they can get in office and not pay attention to Chicago is crazy. These Republicans going to have to come into Chicago. You're going to have to give up that country club mentality and come into Chicago if you want to win. Now, if you don't want to win, if you just want to raise some donation money and hang out some more, then that's what you do. But if you want to win, you're going to come into Chicago. You're going to let Southside Chicago know who you are. Because the reality is you can shout Chicago flips red all day and throw it around as a phrase all day. But the reality is when people go into that voting booth, Chicago flips red is not on there. A person's name is on there. And if people don't know you, they won't know to vote for you. Zoe Leigh gets one vote. Danielle Carter gets one vote. Jessica Jackson gets one vote. You all want to win, you come get some more votes. Come get some more votes. Now, if Chicago does not flip red, if Illinois does not flip red, my hope is that with all the brainstorming and all the problem sharing that we've heard here today, that some of you will still be dedicated enough to help Chicago, be dedicated enough to help our educational system, be dedicated enough to help Black Chicago, to help them young Black boys that y'all keep talking about. If you don't get in office, my hope is that you'll still be dedicated. Because when Trump get out of office, we still got to live here. No more talk about what the Democrats are not. That conversation is overdone. We know what the Democrats are. We know what they are not. I want to hear what the Republicans going to do.
Come on now.
We've been talking about Trump now for what, 2-3 years?
2 years. 2 years. Well, we said 3 years ago. I told him down there he was gonna get in office.
But I'm saying, well, we started like in 3 years, right?
Oh yeah, 3 years.
Right, like in 3 years. And if you all have been paying attention to how Chicago Flip Red got started, it was because me and Zoe were saying that on the local level, we couldn't get any help. That our cases were in court and they were cheating in court. All this talk about criminal court, and that's a problem. But talking about criminal courts is like talking about homelessness. Good political points, but nobody's really going to do nothing about it. Civil courts. That's where the economic harm is. They steal our real estate through civil proceedings. Civil proceedings is how they make you pay money that you don't owe. Civil proceedings is how they keep you from getting money that's owed to you. Civil proceedings. We need to talk more about civil proceedings because only, less than a third of Black people actually go to jail. So stop grabbing at the low-hanging fruit. Like the only thing that you got to campaign on is mass incarceration. Talk about how we need small business loans again. Our businesses got caught up in COVID.
Thank you.
Talk about how you gonna bring those back. School choice is cool. It's cool. But what about all the quote unquote single parents in the Black community? They really got to go cross town to find a decent school. We want our local schools right. School choice is cool. It's cool. But we want our local schools right. For that parent that's working at Walmart, being clocked in, clocked out, don't have the liberty of getting to work how she can, when she can. No. She needs her child to be in a quality local school. We need to deal with the fact that we got all these broken homes in our community. It's not okay. The Democratic Party has made us think it is, but it's not. Because 2 incomes will stop all this need for affordable housing. So yeah, we're going to pray. And I want y'all to pray about what you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm not no politician. And I'm not going to be no politician. I'm going to be right where I am. getting them every which way I can. Cause I'm not beholden to anybody. Cause don't nobody give me no money. And I don't want none. That's what working all my life was about. I got my own money. So I want you all to think about what we need to do to flip Chicago red. Because if you don't flip Chicago red, then it's no hope. It's about Chicago.
It is.
Solid form. It's about Chicago.
Yes, about Chicago. And I'd like to thank you all for coming. And I will tell you this. If Pritzker
If you have a candidate.
cheats,
If
he cheats, okay, because it's gonna be too big to rig. But if it cheats, we are gonna have to go down to DC and we're gonna have to protest in front of that White House until Donald Trump get here. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's it. If we do not flip this governor the next day, so just get y'all tickets, put y'all and J6 again, but we just gonna be this one. Yeah. Shout out to Dave Dewar, 30 statement. Well, yeah. So yeah, that's the other option. So I'm just letting y'all know that, and that's I protest 17 weeks, and it's summertime. My whole summertime shot. You know, summertime shot the best. 17 weeks. I met Miss Jessica outside of City Hall, so I have no problem protesting. I got my music. I got my battery pack. It could be a tailgate. It could be a White House protest tailgate. We need the fans to come. No. Yeah. Because somebody's not getting him our message. Okay, because I write every week for the feds to come. So if the feds, if we don't get this right, but I believe we will. If we do not get this right, the next day on Dick Gregory, I'm going down. I'm going to DC. Yeah, I'm protesting. We ain't got no other choice.
But also protest the Illinois GOP.
Oh
If it doesn't come together, I will say, and like I said, I don't have any formal connections to the overall governing body of Illinois GOP. The issue, if you go look at the Illinois Democratic Party's page, they do massive visibility for Republican candidates. They unite, for Democratic candidates, they unite the Democratic Party. They make sure you know who all is running. They hold trainings for them. They have this national, state, and statewide training platforms. They recruit candidates. It's not all cheating, unfortunately. Our Republican Party does not do a good job of actually running the Republican Party of Illinois. Every candidate you see in here is fighting for their life. I literally homeschooled 4 kids, and my husband just became an officer this year. He's working nights, so sometimes I'm cooking him dinner at like 1 a.m. So it's like I'm running this race and trying to get to as many events as I can while being a mom to like real kids. And it's like the fact that we don't have more people running, the fact that most of my ballot is blank for things like the Metropolitan Water District. We don't have a sheriff running for or on the Republican ballot. It's just blank spots all over my ballot. It's no wonder people go to the Democratic Party. They can't even vote for anybody on the Republican ballot. It's 3 candidates. So we can't just see. So it's like, if we go into DC, let's make a stop at Kathy Salvy's house. And I know this will make it to her. I really don't care about making an enemy of Kathy Salvy. And here's the thing, if she was doing her job, we wouldn't have beef. There wouldn't be no beef if you were doing your job. There should be more support for Republican candidates in the state. It shouldn't be this hard. I had to build myself a phone banking app from scratch.
Crazy.
This stuff don't make sense. All the stuff, it's like, even like I raised $30K for my race. Do you know Raja has like 100 like millions? He has millions. He's paying people $4,000 a month, multiple employees. Just like the Democratic Party is a well-oiled machine. We are up against Goliath in Illinois at every level. So it's like it's cheating, but it's strategic for us to lose because the Republican Party is separated. It's in these little pods, and then you got fake leadership at the top, not researching tech. We don't own any technology. The Republican Party, the National Republican Party owns nothing. We have no technology, and by technology I mean the apps you need to run campaigns. For primary voters, I need to reach out to 24,000 primary voters, bare minimum, to make sure people come out. There's not, most of these apps say if you are Republican, you cannot use our app. If I want to go to a texting platform, they say we only service progressive or Democrat candidates. We do not work with conservative policies. That's what most technology says. So we're protesting, we got stops to make. We got stops to make because the fact that Illinois is in the state it's in because the Republican Party is complacent. It shouldn't take,
or they're trying to sabotage. Like I did a video the other day and I said 2 things going on here. They trying to sabotage the elections. Yes, exactly. There's no way.
The reason you have Democrats who are legitimately running as Republicans. My ballot, all of my petitions were signed by Republicans. I was out all throughout this district. As much as I have my kids in a wagon sometimes getting those signatures for those petitions. And there are Republican signatures. There are people running in multiple, I'm not saying that nobody at the table, but there are people in this state who are legitimately Democrats. My primary opponent has ran as a Democrat like 6 times. Like legitimately ran as a Democrat 6 times. He has me in domestic violence court because he accused me of stalking. Because I made a video explaining that he was opposing my petitions. Him and his cohort have been harassing me, calling me a witch and everything. I made a video about that. And then Illinois is so corrupt that you can just go take somebody to domestic violence court and accuse them of stalking with no, I've never even been in front of this lady, threatened her, never did anything. She cited anything that says she made a video about me and I have to go to court. What? Because I got accused of stalking for making a video about her. So this is the state that we're in. Like I said, if we protest this, I want to tailgate, but we making some stops in Illinois.
So seriously, this is why I keep saying this, and I be really like trying to hold back on these scandals because I don't want y'all to be like, but it's outside of Chicago, but we're not waiting. That's why we keep making it very clear. We're not waiting for GOP, Illinois GOP, Chicago GOP. If they could do something, if they was about something, we wouldn't be since
they will be in here.
Since 1931.
They will be in here. They will be in here, and they will make sure we have every event venue.
Playing for the other side.
Yeah, we're not waiting for nobody. Chicago flips red is Chicago flips red, like Donald Trump was MAGA.
Right.
Not the Republican Party, it's MAGA.
Right.
We're not waiting for anybody.
No.
We don't care if nobody come to help us. Say it don't matter. We are going to get this done.
Right.
If nobody help, we're not caring about none of that. And because they have shown they don't care and they're not coming to help, they don't want to, they actually try to sabotage you too. And they just got the right ones because we ready. God made, it take a special kind of people from Chicago to fight this beast because this is a different kind of Democrat in Chicago. It's not going to take the regular Republicans to do this.
No.
He's getting the ones that we in the streets to dismantle this machine. That's why we don't care. So the attitude you see us have, guys, you all might see it on TV and be like, the Chicago, so they talking about they're provocatives, they're provocateurs, they're ghetto, they're this and that. I don't care, call us anything.
What a Democrat.
But the way they violate your constitutional rights down there, and do what they want to do to you down there, it's going to take a special kind of people to fight that beast. And he got the right ones because we don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. But we got to fight this machine, and that's what y'all see, guys. Y'all see us out here just being right there down City Hall. In City Hall, they talk about that we are just out here acting a fool because this is what's out there about us. they don't know how to act and they're acting a fool. No, we dealing with a beast. And they're gonna violate every constitutional right you have. And if they smell any sign of weakness, it's over for us. So this is what you all see, guys. So we need, but when I keep trying to tell you all, boots on the ground, guerrilla warfare, we on the ground, this is what it's gonna take to flip Chicago and Cook County red, because Illinois is waiting for us.
But they are working with us too. I be talking to my downstate and my central Illinois and my northern Illinois. We good. We good. So I think we're gonna pull it. We're gonna pull it off.
I want to make sure you all know how important the Daily Plaza events are.
Yeah.
I booked them 14 events this year. They will be at Daily Plaza twice a month, all the way up until October. Daily Plaza is right across the street from City Hall, right across the street from the Chicago Board of Elections, and right across the street from CBS News. And when Zoe and I first started talking about it, she said, they're not gonna let us come there. I said, you wanna come there or not? And she told me, well, I bullied. Because it was so important to me that you all had a space for your voice. And to be out there at Chicago Flips Red, right across the street from Mayor Johnson's office.
And Tony Dwayne.
Yeah.
Tony Dwayne,
Tony Tackley.
$1 Tony.
Please come out and support those events. They're noon to 1, twice a month. They will be there March 17th and April 1st. And she has the schedule for the rest of it. Please come and can you imagine how many people we can get out there with signs and everything? It holds thousands of people.
Yes.
Picasso.
Make it bigger than no king.
That is very important.
And can I make a comment on the Friday? So every Monday and Friday, I'm David Dora, I'm a candidate, state rep, 35th district.
Okay.
The Chicago Teachers Union, which we refer to as the Communist Teachers Union. Right? Come on out. Zoe and Danielle are out there to support these guys. They're out there. We got what they call the walk of shame. So people up and we let them know. Right? We can't repeat unless you come out, you'll hear our comments. But guys, come on out and support them. And I just want to make a comment. I've been around in the process maybe too long, and we're not just fighting the Democrats. I refer to them as the Pritzker Democrats or the Pritzker Johnson Democrats. We're fighting the rhinos and we're fighting the establishment. And as you guys are flourishing with Chicago Flips Red, you know what I say? I say Chicago Flips Red replaces the Illinois GOP.
That part.
No. In reverse, because they're doing nothing. There's no national help from it because they say Chicago's the GOP and Illinois Republican. But the thing is the Chicago Flips Red is you're getting all these obstacles, right? Because they're working for the other side.
Yes.
It's the uniparty, it's communism.
Yep.
So myself, I'm formed the Trump Kirk MAGA Red International Movement, which coincides with Chicago Flips Red. It's the policies of Trump, the godly values of Charlie Kirk, and by gosh, right? If we have to replace them, we'll replace them. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
All right, y'all.
Right? It's easy to say, come support them, come on out Friday. What time is it Friday?
8 to 11.
8 to 11, drink your coffee. I go to Panera. I'm part of the Civic Club. So come on out, guys, and support them and get involved. Remember, if somebody is a candidate, a Republican, and they're afraid to say Trump, they're afraid to say Charlie Kirk, it's like, go to the other side, right? That's my comment.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. It's a wrap. Thank y'all.
I was very, very excited.